That's so long. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Hey,
For sure. So this is Still Socks Not Dope. We're here every Sunday, 8 o'clock p.m. Ish. We ain't late because we was on time for the first presentation. This is a special presentation. I have Bonnie Godiva with me today. I'm gonna let her give you a little bit of her background before we get started. Can you please tell us a little bit of your background?
sure. So my name is Bonnie Godiva. I am the owner and CEO of Godiva Agency. I
Mm.
also run Bonnie Godiva Limited. I've been a entertainer since 2012. I've done a lot of TV work, while now a couple other contracts that I've done as a rapper and a comedian. And then I've also learned how to maintain myself as an artist by doing these multiple revenue streams. So I cover drop shipping. I do drop shipping. I do Airbnb masterclass, which is one of my favorites and what I push for. I help with business funding and formation. Anything that has to do with getting your business off the ground or your existing business to where you'd like it to be, building business credit, credit repair, all around services that have to do with helping you go to the next level. Be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be an artist or you want to travel the world or you want to do, write books for the rest of your life. What can you do on the sidelines or in the background that can allow you to be the person that you want to be and do what you want to do? So I work with various people. I work with people that are caterers that are trying to get their first food truck, or people that move to a new city and just trying to find new revenue ways without having to get a job, and or people starting these companies and wanting to get them established and get funding quickly. So that's
So
pretty much it overall.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you are well traveled when it comes to like the business exports, but to put people's thoughts at like Drake flew her out. You feel me? But let's fast forward, right? So we want to go that far, right? But so she is very, very prominent. So I don't bring y'all no BS. Y'all know how I do. You feel me? When it comes to the city, I only bring y'all the great. So let's get to the very first topic that I want to get into, which is how do you start your Airbnb with low cost?
So starting your own Airbnb with low cost, it really depends on if you want to get into it personally or you try to do it through your business. Like the more established your business is, you can do a corporate lease, and then you're getting into rental arbitrage because you're basically a property manager. You don't own the property, you're not paying for the property, you're just managing it for them, putting it on the market, ensuring that they get whatever they're looking for monetary wise, and that you're protecting the property and doing these other services that you said that you'll do. So it's kind of like you're just the uh, upgraded a super that gets it booked pretty much because you'll handle like even though you're not paying anything, you'll have to cover things like minimum repairs and things like that, emergencies, maintenance, cleaning, those type of things, but you don't have to pay the rent. So that goes into rental arbitrage, where you're partnering under a corporate lease. Now, if you're trying to get a personal lease, which is what I recommend my students do, we go through this full masterclass where you learn both personal and the rental arbitrage side. I would suggest you do it personally on your own first, just to make sure that you want to do it. It's something that you like doing before you go into these longer term contracts and partnerships with people, making sure that you want to do it. So I tell people, go the grant way, maybe get startup funding, startup grants, form your business right so you can get some funding behind you. And then you can use that for your Airbnb. So that would be zero down, no money down. There's also ways to get free furniture, there's discounted furniture, um, free, appliances, using your network, having Amazon wish list, using your friends and family, So there's a bunch of things that you can do and tricks and tools to stock it and furnish it. Um, I actually help people who are about to lose their properties, whether it's
Mm.
rental or owning, because you can own a property and put it on the market, of course, but there are ways to rent or partner with people who are renting or partner with companies who own these properties to put them on the market and you being the manager. So I have someone right now who was about to lose their place. They have a townhouse. It's really, really nice. She was just going to leave, but we decided, okay, I'm going to put the money up front to make sure this place is ready, furniture wise, and whatever it needs. We're going to put it on the market. Here's our plan. And I'm pretty much the manager of that residence now. I didn't put any money into it, but I am, as far as getting the property, I'm not on the paperwork, but I am to have paperwork as a manager where I'm putting furniture into the house and helping this person rent it out and still be able to keep it and not break their lease or agreements, but still make money from it and make profit. And I still make more than what I put in. So it's a
So
cool system.
yeah, so like, what are some of the drawbacks or some of the unforeseen hiccups that happen in the game when it comes to Airbnb? Something is like it kind of irritates you a little bit.
Hmm. I think about that. I mean, you obviously can't please anybody. I work really hard with making sure that I provide a unique experience. Like my Airbnbs, people come back to, they visit, they want to revisit, they tell their friends about, oh, it's so cool, and they had this and they had that, and there's a backdrop, and there's a rooftop, and there's a jacuzzi. So I try to provide experiences that are not given. If I'm in New York, I try to provide a rooftop and a jacuzzi that feels like Miami. If the residence is in Miami, I'm providing it, making it feel like they're in Houston. Or if I'm, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to give them something different so that they're always pleased and they leave good reviews, because that will determine how much you get seen, how the algorithm hits you, things like that, how much you're booked. So that's probably the annoying side, is making sure that everybody is pleased. But the better you design and prepare your home, the less you have to do that.
So like, what are some of the things that like you do to safeguard yourself? Like, like on the early check-ins or people that want to come through and party and tear your place up. What are some things you do to safeguard yourself so you're not having a headache later on just off
Hmm.
of you like doing an Airbnb service?
There's a whole like class in Airbnb that has to do with setting up your Airbnb, because those parts are important. Security, you can't have cameras in the home, but certain things, like I don't want to give away too much, so I'll sue, but we don't give away some.
Yeah, we gotta go together.
But you can't have cameras in the house, right? For example, because that's violates their privacy. But to protect yourself from squatters or people that are not supposed to be in there between hosts or things like that, if you're not there, or you have this partnership where you ensure that you're going to make sure it's safe and clean and things like that, because that's your partnership that you're doing with the property, you can put a camera on the outside of the home. So
Mhm.
I was just showing my class today, because we had this is our third class for this month's master class for Airbnb. I have Blink, and this goes straight to my phone. So I have one of these in the jacuzzi, for instance, which sounds funny, but I make people pay extra to use the jacuzzi.
Like you gotta write
So
my
so let me clarify that.
listen.
If they do not pay to use the jacuzzi, I
All
take the water out and this is inside, so that if they do try to use the jacuzzi when they didn't pay for it, it will alert me that somebody's using the jacuzzi.
right.
So things like this on your rooftop or your doorway, to where nobody's there tonight. So if it chimes, it's armed, you armed it. So if it chimes, you know that somebody's there that's not supposed to be. So security measures like this. Things like, there's things that there's a app that I have a referral tool with that um, tells you how many people is on your Wi-Fi, and that's how they'll tell you if they're having a party. If they have 50 people on the Wi-Fi, then clearly they're having a party over there. But
Right.
if it's only two people on the reservation, then you shouldn't have 10 people on the Wi-Fi. So there's a lot of ways that don't require stepping on someone's privacy, that you can still secure the property.
Mhm. So like you also offer that. You also, I mean, like me and you have similar paths, such as like you help people with grant writing and things of that nature. What other things are you doing that like people that's from my walk of life can support you and help you along your way? What are some other things that you do peripheral?
So yeah, I mean, I do grant writing. I help people form their business and the way to get funding in the first 3 to 6 months.
Y'all hear
Uh,
that? Y'all can call her, not me. Quit knocking my. Y'all can call. Uh,
well, call both of us. We'll both, we both out here. Um, Social media campaigns, helping you get your social media together. I've been doing that before. I've been doing this. Pretty well versed on reels and how to get content seen and heard.
it
Um,
went crazy on the whole Airbnb class. Like that was like crazy. It went dumb, like to the point where like I got multiple TikTok accounts. You was on all of them. I'm like, how, right? So, yeah. So like you are well versed when it comes to social media and things of that nature.
Yep.
Um,
That's how I sold that class, with a reel. I actually got a full 12 student class off of a social media reel.
that's hard. That's hard. So let's get into the PPP versus the
Mhm.
employee. retention credits.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it?
So
How does it factor?
what you say? Ask me a question.
So, so like, what's the difference between PPP and the ERC?
So the PPP is going to be, that was the Paycheck Protection Program. They're similar. It sounds the same because they have to do with paychecks that your employees got, but they're different. In the PPP was something that was given for a certain amount of time to catch people up with being behind or not being able to pay their employees because of the pandemic, right? That was the PPP. It opened, it closed. We know that it hasn't opened yet. We've been waiting, but it has not reopened, right? They were giving, I think, 3 rounds, up to 3 rounds that you can get the PPP. That closed off. There has been no other mention, even though I've been looking about it reopening. We'll see. But ERC was created. I think this is the second year they're doing it, because I know they did it last year and they might have did it the year before, but it just wasn't as well known. Right. So this is like something that came back around though, and the ERC is basically says you qualify 3 different ways. Number one, what you have to have, any of the ways you qualify also require you having business taxes. So that's important that you have taxes that you file for your business.
1099, have your 1099 ready.
No, we need W-2 employees. They cannot be independent contractors. So this is a whole different like thing, and I think I'm actually going to do a class, just a 1-day class, about how do you identify who's 1099, who's W-2, how does W-2 employees get you later funding, and how can you get into W-2 employees. But you have to have W-2 employees. That means they pay their taxes, you're paying taxes, you're going through all those processes. You have to have your business taxes. Those 2 things have to be had. You cannot apply for the ERC no matter what other qualifications you have that I'm about to explain, unless you have those 2 things. And you have to have payroll, some type of payroll that you establish. You can show them what you are paying them. So the ERC is basically similar to the PPP, but it's different in that it's money put aside for people who fit one of these 3 categories. You either have W-2 employees, less than 500 of them. So you have less than 500 W-2 employees, and you can show loss of revenue over the years through your business taxes. So that's one way you can qualify, by your employees and the revenue. The second way you can qualify is if your business closed down temporarily or permanently, and you had W-2 employees and you have business taxes, you can apply because you can show the loss of revenue lead to you closing down, all caused from the pandemic. This is how you get the ERC. I'll explain the rewards of the ERC in a minute. The last way that you can qualify, I don't want y'all to get excited if y'all don't qualify, so I'll tell you the qualifications first. The last way you can qualify for the ERC is if your supplier, you had a disruption in supply. So that means, let's say I had a client who used to get their hair from China and Vietnam. I mean, they used to get on the flight and go and get it and come back. And that's how, that was part of his business pitch. Like, I go get it. It's pure. It's XYZ. So now that we have the pandemic, he obviously wasn't able to go over there. His supply chain is disrupted. Right. And he has W-2 employees. So even though he kept the store open, he had to find other ways. It was costly. He lost revenue, and he has employees. So he qualified. So those are the 3 ways. You can qualify through your supply chain being disrupted. You can qualify through being closed down permanently or temporarily. And you can qualify through having less than 500 W-2 employees and just showing that loss of revenue year to year.
Wow.
So this is available for 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Okay.
So now, rewards, you can get up to $26,000 per employee.
Right.
So even monetary wise, is very different from the PPP. You can get $26K per W-2 employee.
So I looked into it, and I saw it was like $7,000 to $10,000 per employee, but like you can like run it up for certain periods. Like it'll be like this period to this period to this period. So you can run it up for real if you are a legitimate business. You have W-2 employees, right? So some of y'all who like myself, my son work for me. I have a W-2 for him. and literally you can run it up based off of those principles. But there is a different thing when it comes to PPP. Is like if you got PPP during a period of that, you cannot use it. You can't use those credits during that PPP period.
Right.
But
Right.
after PPP, you already got forgiveness. You are still eligible for this amount of money.
Right.
Right.
So that's why you could do that for this year, because PPP was last year or the year before y'all got it. So whatever year you didn't get the PPP, you can do the ERC.
For sure. So I'm gonna have all of my people come holler at you, right? And they're gonna send you, they're gonna say dash resource or P. You know what I mean? So where can they contact you in order to get this funding?
You can either go on my website and leave me a consultation for free. Just put your info there at bonniegodiva.com. That's spelled bonniegodiva.com. So you can spell it out like that, Bonnie Godiva. Or you can go on IG at Godiva Agency, still spelled like Godiva, Godiva Agency. So those are the best two contacts for me. IG Godiva Agency. You can go to the website, bonniegodiva.com, or you can send me an email at info@bonniegodiva.com.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So salute to you. Thank you so much for taking this time to be on my platform. You know, I love you to death. I be calling you during battles and all that. Like, you know what I mean?
No
I definitely appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
problem.
I'm sending you Capitalist merch. I'm gonna send you my new imprint that nobody got yet. You gonna be the first one rocking it. You gonna
Thank
rock
you.
as the rocket, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna hit you up and get your contact information. I mean, it ain't like I ain't send you some stuff already before for your first Airbnb. So we're acting like, you feel me?
You did, you did, you did. You hit that Amazon list. Got me some stuff.
Feel me? I'm a real one. You know what I mean? I'm a real
You
one. So
did. I appreciate it.
I
When you get
appreciate.
your first property, I got you.
Got you. Well, I actually own my own first. Well, I need some rental property. Okay, I need some rental
Right. Your
property.
first rental property is what I'm talking about.
So I appreciate you so much, and I'll be hitting you up a little bit later. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.